Hello, everyone. It's your boy Snazzy. Welcome back. I hope you're having a amazing day so far. And today's topic, right? We're gonna be talking about some Steam, probably a few other things related to Steam. Probably like a few other gaming platforms like Steam, like Epic, Xbox. Of course, Epic, but quite nice. We're gonna be going into detail. We're gonna show like a few things. Um, from my Steam page, right? We're gonna show you like example. But before that, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because you know, right? A lot of people like myself, right? I'm guilty of this as well. I'm not gonna say like I didn't do this, right? I did this, right? For a while, like I did do this, and then after a while, I just stayed on Steam. I was like, there's no point in me going back on there, even with the few games that I got for free. And I guess I'll name a few of them. Like there's this one game I got. Let me show it real quick. Right, I got this game. Right, I got this game for free and a few other games for free over there. Uh, on Epic Game Store, right? Now, at the time, I was like, "Oh, I got one of my favorite games for free." And then I saw this one deal that they were making on Steam where like they were giving this game out and like a few of the DLC were there were like a few dollars. Right? There are a few there are a few dollars and I'm like, "You know what? That's pretty fire. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this on here on Steam because quite naturally I want the deal." Right? And I was like, "Yeah, I want that." Right? And I stopped playing on Epic. Right? And then quite naturally I think around the same probably like a little bit further um when they released Borderlands 4. I still haven't played that on there, by the way, even though they gave that game out for free over there. Right? And I'm pretty sure there were some games. Put it down in the comments, like what games that they've given out for free over there on Epic. Let me know because I haven't been over there in quite some time, and that was like the last time I've been over there was for that uh Borderlands game, right? The Borderlands 4, right? And I'm like, bro, like even with all these free games, like it's not gonna keep me here because even with the free games, right? It's not gonna keep me there because I just don't like the launcher. I don't like the launcher, and I'm pretty sure, right? It's not just me, right? Yeah, it's everyone. They're like, yeah, like this is not going to keep me here, right? Even though like they did give out some games for free, I just, you like the experience and the way that Steam is, right? You like the way Steam looks, the the store page, right? Everything looks nice, right? Navigating the store on Epic Game Store is fucking atrocious, right? I gotta point that out, right? I think it's like the worst. Even though even compared to Xbox, right? Right? Now, they've improved over the years with theirs, which is one thing and the many few things that I give credit to with the Xbox launcher is that they keep trying to improve it. And I guess this is a perfect time to talk about Xbox because like with their launcher, there's some negatives. There's a lot of negatives, but there are some positives. Like one of the I guess the main thing I should say I give a lot of praise to is that they give more access to that user's uh Xbox what is it storage, their game catalog in a sense where they have access to a good portion of their games that they own on Xbox, right? Like if you have it on your Xbox, the only thing that I kind of do give a little critique to it is that they're not all the way in the sense where it's like okay, you can play literally every game that you've owned on Xbox on your PC. That's the only thing which I hope they get to that point, of course, where you can, which would be nice. It would be nice to be able to play Division 2 on my PC, but that's okay. That's whatever. Right? Right? I still play it on my Xbox and I'm like, dude, if only I had this on my PC. Damn it, bro. Damn it. But until that day comes, right, we'll still be playing it on our Xbox. But quite naturally, let's talk about the rest of the competition, right? Because then, I'm pretty sure a few months ago, Yeah, I remember seeing this where, devs were complaining that Steam has a monopoly on PC games, right? Right? It's funny that, we talk about that uh, now because it's like, a lot of these companies are jealous of Steam's success, but it's like, when the rest of your competition sucks, well, why are you blaming Steam for being the better and obvious choice for the majority of PC gamers, right? It's the best platform, right? The store page is like the main thing that looks it's very easy to navigate, right? And that's the main thing I would say. Compare far better than all these other far exceedingly than all these other launchers and these game providers for PC, right? Not even close, right? Not even close, right? Along with the long list of indie games that they have that are pretty freaking good, name an indie game that you have that you really enjoy. Um, I think I have like a few. I have a few. I'm pretty sure some of you guys probably seen this game before. I play this a lot. Wait, I'm gonna pull it up on my screen, of course, right? I played this game a lot. I haven't played it in like a few weeks. And probably should reinstall it. Actually, I haven't played in like a few months, actually. And the last update for it was pretty freaking fire. I really loved that update. I played this, right? I like this game, right? But quite naturally, right? The long list of indie games that Steam has is pretty nice, right? There's a lot of indie games that they support a lot of indie developers on their platform, right? Love the large catalog of games that Steam has, right? Whereas quite actually, does Epic have a long list of games that they indie studios like? No, not really, not really, right? Right? I'm pretty sure like a lot of the indie studios go straight to Steam, right? You want to put your game on the best platform, right? They're not going to go to Epic, obviously. They're not going to there's going to be some that go to Epic, but the majority of them they're going to go straight to Steam. And then keep in mind, a lot of people promote their stuff on X so that people can see their games. And I've discovered a lot of interesting games, especially this year, that games I want to try out and I've put on my wish list from these indie studios on from X. And then I followed them on X and then I found their game. I'm like, oh yeah, this game looks interesting. I'm pretty sure they list some down in the comments, right, of a game from an indie studio that you saw that looked pretty freaking badass. Because I've been seeing a lot. I've been seeing a lot, and a lot of them are on Steam. They look pretty good, right? Even better than some of these AAA. Right? They make their games fun, obviously. That's the key thing, right? So, right, we got right. And it's like, dude, it's crazy, right? It's freaking crazy. I love seeing like these games, right? They look really nice. But what's the next thing I wanted to talk about? I kind of forgot, right, just now. But I guess the main point is like, yeah, like obviously Steam is the better choice. Doesn't matter if you give them free games. Oh, wait. And then another thing that I really don't like about Epic, because it reminds me of what Sony does to Xbox, what Epic is trying to do to Steam. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys know what I'm about to talk about. When they be buying some of these games license, right? And they buy the license for that game, right? And then they only have it to where that game is on their platform, right? They do that shit purposely where the game is only purchasable on Epic Game Store, and it will be like that for a few years, right? Now, even though I didn't play, what is it? Like, what was their perfect example of this game? Total War. Was it Pharaoh? It was Pharaoh and Troy, right? Both of those games didn't release on Steam. They were only on Epic Store. Right? They were only on Epic Store for a long time until recently, and then they released it on there. Quite actually, I still don't play these games because it's like it's kind of past its time, right? Obviously, right? And I heard those games weren't really that good, so it's like, yeah, definitely not worth the buy, of course, especially on the inferior platform, which you already don't like. So quite naturally, is that going to incentivize people to go to your platform even when they have to do that for a game that they really want to play? Maybe some people did it, but I would assume a lot of people would simply just wait, like I did, and that's one of the other things that I just really don't like that because it reminds me when Sony does to Xbox with a lot of their titles that even though they don't even own the company, like with like some of the Final Fantasy games, right? they don't even they don't even own it, but like, hey, we buy some of these games to be so that they don't go on Xbox. So they don't go on Xbox. So it was like, bro, right now we're getting a lot of those games, which I'm happy. I like Final Fantasy. I've always liked Final Fantasy. But when they did that, I'm like, dude, that's pretty scummy. Like when Sony does it, it's obviously scummy. And when Epic does it, it's still scummy. Right? It's like, even though you're the and keep in mind, it's like, oh, but Sony's like the whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still like a shitty thing to do, right? Because it's like you're essentially closing the gate and only allowing your gate to be open to where people have to buy, in a sense, like for Sony, they have to buy a PlayStation in order to buy this one game that they want to play. So it's like they have to buy the console and they have to buy the game in order to even play a game that they have, rather than being able to play a game on a console that they already have that should just simply be on their platform. But it's whatever, right? I guess we'll end it off right there. Right? Let me know down in the comments, like whatever. If you've had a bad experience, like quite naturally, all these other. We're not even to mention some of those other launchers, but right, like what games that you went to Steam? I mean, not to Steam, because we know Steam gives us some free games. Some people don't mention that they do. Like what yesterday, we got Graveyard Keeper for free. I was like, oh crap, let's go. Right. But what games do you go to Epic Store when you heard that they gave it up for free, but then you probably did the same thing that I did? It's like, yeah, I'd just rather buy it on Steam. Right. I just rather buy it on Steam, kind of just because I'm used to being here on Steam. I kind of don't like opening other launchers besides Xbox here and there for certain games, right? For certain games, of course. But leave a comment, like, share, do all those amazing things. As always, stay good, stay safe, everyone. Later.